Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of The Unlock Show. My name is Tracy Wilson, and I'm your guest always on this channel, The Unlock Show. And today I've got a really special guest with me. His name is Joel Garman, and I'm going to tell you all about him in just a few moments. But if you are somebody who is wanting to grow your business, you're wanting to stand out from the crowd, then, utilizing something like YouTube, which has pretty much zero cost, which Joel is going to tell you about, but a little bit of your time required as a bit of input to help you 10x your business, then today's show is going to be right up your alley. And I would suggest that you hang around. Today's show is going to be about an hour long today because Joel and I sort of spent a little bit of time off screen covering some of the things that he's going to talk about. And I can assure you it is going to be power-packed show today. So please make sure that you go and get a pen and paper right now and make sure that you are prepared to take notes, because there is going to be a lot of stuff that Joel's going to cover. I've worked with Joel previously, and he's extremely practical. So he's going to give you lots of practical things that are going to help you to utilize YouTube to expand and grow your business in 2020. Let me tell you a little bit about him. So other than being a super nice guy, Joel is also a filmmaker, storyteller, and he specializes in video content creation and brand strategy. So Joel comes from a background of film and TV, and he has nearly a decade of experience with shows like the Shannara Chronicles, Power Rangers, Dino Charger, and various music videos, documentaries, and feature films. Like, I've seen some of his stuff and it is amazing. And like I said, I've worked with him on many a project in the past. So he's ever the professional when it comes to video. He also does workshops, masterminds, and he creates very targeted videos and contents that really does get results. Joel's the founder of Video Shift Media, which is an online video production business which specializes in teaching effective video marketing strategies to business owners. So you guys, if you're business owners right now, you want to be listening to what Joel's got to talk about today. He's also the owner of and the host of 2 YouTube channels, and he's got over 20,000 subscribers, over 300 videos, and with a combined view count of over 2 million viewers. So he knows his stuff. So like I said, YouTube is a platform that has the ability to 10x your online business at no cost other than your time. And Joel is here today to explain the best techniques to do it without investing a ton of money or your valuable time. So huge welcome to you, Joel, to the show. I'm so pleased to have you here, and great to reconnect with you.
Thanks, Tracy. Yeah, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me. Excited to talk about YouTube today.
I know it's a super exciting topic because it's something that, obviously here, if you're watching the show today, guys, and you're inside of the Success Secrets for Business, Family and Life group, you know the drill. The drill is that you use the comment section to, talk with both Joel and I. And if you've got any questions of anything that we talk about on the show today, please make sure that you put them into the comment section. We'll make sure that we answer them. If you're also listening to this on YouTube, make sure that you comment down below and we'll make sure that we also answer those. Or if you're listening to the podcast, do the same thing. Speak to us and we'll make sure that we answer you. So you can also go to iTunes and download The Unlock Show with Tracy Wilson, and you'll be able to listen to these and all of the videos that we do as a podcast. So let's kick in. Let's talk about why is YouTube so important? Why should business owners really even consider using it?
Yeah, I think YouTube is one of those things that tends to get overlooked sometimes by business owners, in particular, because of the amount of time that it requires and the amount of effort. But YouTube really is it's the second largest search engine in the world, and it's got something like 70 million active users, and it's just really a platform where you can organically grow your business. So that's been a goal of mine, is to I'm a YouTuber. First and foremost, I really enjoy YouTube. I enjoy making content anyway, so it's a bit of a no-brainer for me, being a videographer, to actually just keep making video content. But yeah, what really interests me is the marketing side of YouTube. And there's massive potential with how much free traffic you can put through to your business, especially if it's online as well. Every video you upload has the potential to get a crazy amount of views if you implement some best practices. And the more people that view your videos, and the more free value that you actually give away on your channel, the more potential you have to grow your business.
And hey, we're going to get into a lot of that stuff. So like giving people away, we're going to unlock some of these secrets as to what are the things that you should be doing to get started. And then obviously once you've got started, how do you actually promote the videos? How do you enable them to get more viewers? So, that number of viewers, like I know for me that one of the places when I'm trying to look something up, I'm very visual. I like to see, how to do things rather than just, listening or even reading something. So YouTube is often my sort of the first place I would go to search something out. So it makes, it is a no-brainer that would be, an obvious solution for a lot of people that are trying to get a lot more traction. What sort of businesses should consider using YouTube?
I think that any business can use YouTube. It's about finding your niche or your niche, depending on where you're from, and really just making content that relates to the customers that you want and the content that you want to put out. So we'll be talking about some examples today. Hopefully we get time for it to talk about some channels that are really doing well in their space. And that could be anything from personal trainers putting out small bits of content that leads through to an online program, or to coaches as well. So the sky's really the limit with the amount of channels that are out there and the amount of content. And there is always someone who, no matter how weird the content is, there's always someone who will love it, or a group of people that will love what you're making.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, I think about some of the big gurus, and I mean, the one that comes to mind is like Gary V. That's really where he got his massive start, right? Was by doing I think it was like wine pairing type videos for the bottle store that he was working in, which was his family bottle store. And that, having that presence on YouTube just absolutely blew him up.
Yeah, I mean, it started a lot of people's businesses, people who just, wanted to start making content. There's a guy called Peter McKinnon who recently just blew up. He's a professional photographer, so he hadn't got into video, and he just decided, you know what, I'm going to start just making reviews on camera and gears that I use. And he's a really funny, really nice, charismatic guy, and so his channel just blew up. Similar to the likes of Casey Neistat for the vloggers out there. But Peter McKinnon's up I think he's well over 1 million subscribers now. I think he's maybe even touching 5 million subscribers. And, that's where, you get enough subscribers and you actually start to generate enough passive income to put more time into YouTube. So it really is it's a long-term game if you're consistent, and consistency is definitely key.
Absolutely. I mean, it's really interesting that you should actually touch on that, because one of the things that we talk about, and particularly inside of our, Success Secrets for Family, Business and Life group, is like creating all the, different streams of income. And like you've just touched on, the fact that if you create content and you put it out on YouTube and you get enough views on it, you then can turn that into an income stream for yourself. And then, so it just does add that next layer of opportunity to your bottom line, as well as being somewhere that we talk about creating the entry level, or the point of entry where somebody gets to experience you, know you, like you, trust you through video. I mean, what do you see as the major difference between like why you should do video in comparison to say something like a podcast? Because I know podcasting is huge right now.
Yeah, podcasting is another great tool to use, to give free value to your community, to your customers and your clients. I think video is just one of those things where people are just locked in. You know, if you catch them, you know, they say on Facebook, the first it's like 10 seconds is the most important, and then if you've caught them, if you've hooked them in, then they will stay and watch your video. You know, if it's 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, they're there to watch it. So I think that video, you know, you've got video, audio, you know, both the senses are just there and people are hooked in. So if you're putting a content out there that's going to solve a problem on YouTube, and someone searches up that problem that they're trying to fix, that would be something straight away that people will watch till the end of the video to fix their problem. And I think just going back to kind of you know, how do I get started on YouTube? I really think that's the best place to be. You know, like starting a new channel is actually awesome because you're not bogged down by all this content that you've tried before. You know, which goes back to staying consistent. So they say that the first 1,000 subscribers is the hardest, and then it starts to get a little bit easier from there because you've actually built an organic community that's, you know, there for your content. They've subscribed. It's similar thing to subscribing to a newsletter. They're coming back for your next video post. So yeah, just definitely getting started. And, you know, I'd say, you know, just look at channels of other people in your niche and in your area of expertise, and just take notes on things that you like about their channel. You know, the way it's laid out with what content they're making. And you can actually start to make a content matrix of content that you plan to make, which I can get into a bit more as well.
Oh yeah, let's do that. So let's help people get started. So, you know, one of the things that we talk about often is just, you know, getting up there, preparing yourself and getting yourself ready to actually stand up and then stand firm on what it is that you want to talk about, and then enable yourself to stand out. So let's help them, I suppose, get started. What are some of the things that they would need to do? Maybe the top 3 things that they would need to do to get themselves started.
I'd say number 1 would be, you know, find out what type of content you want to make. So there's different styles that have kind of emerged on YouTube, and you know, you've got the Casey Neistats out there that are vloggers that make really fun, like, vlogging content, and that's really good if you're someone who loves the camera and the camera loves you. Then vlogging can be an awesome way to connect with your audience because it's very organic, almost like a Facebook Live or a YouTube Live. You know, so I'd say number 1 would be to pick your style, you know, and staying consistent to that. Number 1 thing I see is people kind of seesawing between styles. So they might do, you know, some tutorials here, or they might do some vlogging here, and then they might try something else. But it's actually staying consistent, because people will come to your channel because they're like, oh yeah, yeah, Tracy, she's a vlogger. I know her. I love her stuff. So they will keep coming back for the same content. So yeah, it just goes back to that point of just looking up different channels that you like the style of, and you know, maybe trying to emulate that style of how it's shot. You know, the actual aesthetics of it, and the format, but making it your own as well. You know, we each have our own individual voice. So, you know, if you see a video that you're like, oh, I have this awesome topic that I want to make. Oh, drat, like, you know, someone's already made this video, I can't make it now. That's totally not the case, because, you know, it just comes back to, there will be people from all around the world that are interested in similar things to you are, and, you know, maybe trying to sell similar things to you are, but you're the person that, you know, you can only have your own voice. So yeah, and your own perspective, and people will come back for that, you know.
And I suppose that comes back to, you know, one of the things that what you've said is about brand. So it's like, once you've got your brand and you understand, you know, what it is that you want to stand for, it's then getting that consistency across everything that you do, right? Like, like you're saying, you know, don't, you know, skip from one thing to another, or tic-tac from one sort of style to another. Get very consistent with what it is that you are doing, so that people get to recognize, hey, that's the way that Joel Garman does it, or that's the way that Tracy Wilson does it, and that's what they come to expect. And like you say, that's what they will come back to your channel for. So getting started is pretty simple, right? So if somebody knew nothing about YouTube, what is like the first thing that they would need to do to just get themselves started?
I'd say number one would be just starting to make a bit of a content matrix. And what I mean by that is what type of content, do you want to make? So for me, I use Trello boards to manage my content. And then it's great. I love it because it's visual. I can work in lists. So I'll have I'll just make a list of, just brainstorming ideas. Like for my personal channel, it's, just trying to help entrepreneurs and coaches and business owners, actually someone who doesn't have a background in video making. How can I make great videos? So I might, make one video on the best royalty-free music sites and focus on that for a video. And then I might make another video on how to get great lighting in your video. And so starting to make a bit of a content matrix. Then I take that through to a short list. And in my short list, I start to do keyword research. And so I actually start to see, what are the types of videos that are already out there that I can hopefully beat in the search rankings. Because that's another thing as well. You want to make content, but you also want it to actually be seen. So that's how I'd start off, is just picking some content and actually planning which videos am I going to release and what series am I going to release. I don't think people sometimes get caught up with like, how my channel is going to look like in terms of what playlists I'm going to have and things like that. But I don't actually think playlists are that important. The majority of people will just be searching on YouTube. They won't be searching channel specific. They'll just need an answer to a question, or they'll be searching something up, or they'll see you recommended on someone else's videos. They're 9 times out of 10, they're going to find you by your video, not by your channel. So I would really put the focus on the content and the videos. And, you're saying about branding as well. Branding's a huge part of it. That's a huge topic in itself. But, just doing simple things like maybe focusing on creating your YouTube banner for the top of your channel. What's the first thing people see when they go to your channel? Just like Facebook, they'll see your branding and kind of where you want to point them to. The thumbnails on your videos as well are really important. And actually what makes them click on the videos. So it all works together in like a nice little marketing package to make people click.
Well, that's great, because I'm going to ask you we're going to go a little bit deeper on all of those things that you've just spoken about there, because I think they're really important. We've got a question here from one of our viewers. So hi, Vicky. She's saying, how often should you post a new video?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I would say just as often as you can manage in your schedule and your lifestyle, because it's about being consistent. So a lot of people think like, I have to post a video, once a day or once a week, in order to, be really successful in the YouTube algorithm. But I think YouTube rewards consistency. So if you can only manage one video a month, but it's an awesome, kick-ass video, that's just awesome quality, and you're able to put more time into it, then your channel's still going to grow posting one a month. It might not grow as quickly as if you were to post once a week, which is a nice benchmark to have as well. But yeah, I would just say go with what you can do consistently for not just a couple months, but a couple years,
Okay. And so in terms of like setting up your, this matrix that you talk about. So if somebody wanted to create, their matrix, and you were talking about like using Trello, and it's just a matter of what do? You just put up some different topics and then just start sort of brainstorming out, where else can I go? What other topics could I talk about? And you just start sort of putting them on the Trello board. One of the things that you mentioned was doing this research. So the research into so what is working? How would one do that? What sort of things, where can they go to find out, like, how do I know what's working? Where do I search that?
Yeah, I think that, it comes back to first I'd shortlist what am I actually excited to make. So, you know, you're the expert in your area, so you probably know what people have been asking you already in you know, your circles and in your business, or just locally. So that's where I usually start, is like, what are the questions that I keep getting asked? Like for me, it's like, which camera do I buy? You know, or how do I edit videos easily? I've got no time. So those are ones that, you know, I instantly, okay, this is, you know, maybe might take off if I post this on YouTube. And so what I do is I use a plugin on YouTube. It's called TubeBuddy. And there's different ones out there like vidIQ, but TubeBuddy is just a keyword research tool. It's a plugin that you can get for your Chrome browser, Google Chrome. So if you type in the video that you're thinking of making, say like, you know, which camera should I buy, or the best cameras of 2020, if I type that in on YouTube, it's going to tell me exactly how many people are searching that and how fierce the competition is. So you want it to be high searchable. You want lots of people to be searching it, and you want the competition to be, you know, relatively even most of the time. If it's a hot topic like that, you know, don't get discouraged if there is competition, but you just want to be focusing on that search rate. But, you know, if you pick a topic and then you type it in on YouTube and you start to do your keyword research on YouTube specifically, if it's not being searched, if it's way down in the red and no one's searching it, then don't bother making it, because no one's going to watch it.
Yeah, that's a great tip. So in terms of, I mean, that brings us to our next thing. It's like headlines, right? So it's like the topic, but then actually using what headline should I use? And is there a specific way in which you should craft the headline so that it does get more, it's more searchable?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's one that I'm kind of playing around with more myself. I think that, you know, just going back to kind of basic like copywriting, it needs to be clear and concise of what the video is about. There's also the technique of being a little bit clickbaity, like a reaction type video. Like they need to click on the video to get the last part of the information in the title. But I'd say, yeah, just something that's really related to the video and not too long. If you're going too long, you know, YouTube will cut it off eventually and it'll be just ... and you won't get the full title, or people just won't read it. So try and keep it, you know, short and snappy, maybe one sentence. Like, you know, one of mine is like the best live streaming cameras of 2020. And so someone might type in on YouTube, best cameras live stream. You know, they probably won't type the whole thing, but as long as, you know, that relates to the keywords that they've typed, they'll probably click on it.
And I think that's a really interesting thing too, is like even putting the year or the date on, you know, not the specific date, but the year, because I know, you know, just from my own personal experience, when I'm searching something on YouTube, like I'm more inclined to go something that's more recent, and I check that by the date that's been, you know, put on. So by you saying 2020, that would you know, that would spark to me, hey, I should click on this one. So one of the things we also wanted to talk about, like the key ingredients to having a really solid YouTube video. Talk us through what they are.
Yeah, so I think like the number one rule to remember here is there are no rules for YouTube. You know, people make 30-minute videos on their cats and it goes wild and they get 30 million views, and then all us business owners are left cursing in the corner. But no, there's really no rules. So, you know, rules are meant to be broken. But in terms of, you know, if you are a business owner and you're more of a business-minded YouTuber, structure is really important. So how I do my videos is I break it into 5 key points for the video. So the first one is the hook. And this is for actual, you know, writing of the script of the video. What is the story? You know, it needs a beginning, a middle, and an end, you know, or, you know, actually needs these clear story points, really. So number one, I usually go through is the hook. So you'll see a lot of YouTubers do this. So the hook lasts, you know, maybe 2 or 3 sentences, and it's right at the start of the video where you just say what it's about. You know, you get people interested they've clicked on it. You want to reassure them of why they're here watching the video. So, you know, hey guys, today I'm going to show you exactly the best cameras for live streaming in 2020. And then, so after the hook, usually you go directly into a channel intro. And so you could do your intro, maybe it cuts to something like, you know, the Video Shift show or whatever your brand is. Then, so that's kind of got them hooked, and it's in a bit more of a TV show format. I find that it works well because, you know, it allows you to add a bit of production value to the video. And then number two is the main intro. So number two, I'd start this off by introducing yourself. So, you know, hey guys, it's Joel Garman here with Video Shift Media, where we're helping you create the best video content you can on YouTube. So whatever your intro is. So then you've introduced yourself. And in the intro, it's really important to let people know, like, get engaged straight away. Like, hey, you know, leave a comment below, you know, if such and such, leave a comment below on what camera you're using, or, you know, don't forget to subscribe if you like this, and, you know, let's get into the content. So it's just straight away letting them know they can get involved. Number three is the main content. So, you know, you go straight into the main content. That is obviously the most important part because it's what they're there for. Some of them might even try and skip to the main content part. So you want this to be really clear and concise and quality. Then number four is bonus content. So once you've finished up your main content, you've fixed their problem, you want to go into bonus content that wasn't even marketed to them through the thumbnail or the title. And you can actually mention your bonus content in step two, which is your intro. So you can go, make sure you stick around to the end of the video because we'll be going over bonus content of how to edit your videos faster. So you're actually giving them additional info that they weren't even expecting, additional value. So it just finishes off like, wow, this is great content. And, you know, allowing them to, you know, get involved and comment, and don't forget to hit that thumbs up button so you can get your likes up as well. And then number five is the conclusion. So that's just, you know, what we've learned here today, why it's been important, and where do you want them to go as well. So just leading to that offer, whether it's to, you know, check out my channel for more videos, if you want them to watch more content and get your view counts up, because they've probably already subscribed by now, they've probably already commented, they probably already liked if they really liked the content. So it's just that next step at the end of the video of come to my channel, click on my free offer in the links, or you know, check out you know, maybe some of the affiliate linked products that you might have linked as well.
Beautiful. I love that process. I mean, it reminds me of, you know, I suppose this process that I've been using for years, and I'm trying to think. I think I learned it back in my banking days, but it, you know, and when I was training people, it was like, tell them what you're going to tell them. Then tell them what you've told them. So it's like that's a three-step process, and that's beautifully covered in the process that you've talked about for, obviously specifically for YouTube videos. We've got a couple of questions that are coming through here. I'm just going to scroll back up. Okay, we've got one here that it is here. So it says, for branding, does it matter if you do faceless videos, or do people relate better to seeing the actual person?
That's a really good question, because I guess that comes back to the style of videos that you're making as well. I'd say 9 times out of 10 people will relate to seeing you as a person, seeing your face on camera more than just your voice. What I tend to do, which I find is the easiest way for me, I don't want to be on camera for the whole video. You know, I'm a behind the camera person, not an on camera person. So what I usually do is I film an intro to camera, and then I film an outro to camera. So that means basically I'll talk to the camera for my intro, and I'll talk to the camera for my outro. And then if it's content that I can, you know, cut to some graphics, or I'm doing a screen capture, then I'll just do voiceover. I'll do narration for my content. So, you know, step 1, 2, 4, and 5, might film all to camera. But step 3, which is the content, the majority of the video, you could probably get away with just doing voiceover.
I mean, I suppose it depends on, how much work you want to do in terms of preparation. Speaking directly to camera like this doesn't require as much preparation as if you were, wanting to do, cutouts and put in, B-roll and all that sort of stuff, and different videos that you can splice into the final version. What's better? Do you prefer, like, have you seen any evidence that doing live streaming rather than doing like shoot it as a recorded video and then uploading that as on a schedule is better? Which is there any evidence of which one of those sort of works best?
I mean, I would say, the format of YouTube is definitely for pre-recorded content. Live streaming is a feature that's been recently added in the last, few years. And it's definitely an important feature of YouTube. But I feel like a pre-recorded 6 to 10 minute video that just answers someone's question quickly is going to be what gets your view counter up and your subscribers up quickly. Live streaming is definitely good to do once you've maybe got a few thousand subscribers. You've got a decent following that will tune into your live stream. But I would say focus on pre-recorded stuff for YouTube first.
Beautiful. Okay. So there's a few other questions that I've got. There's a few that have been coming up in, I'm just going to check my chat because there's like questions coming left, right, and center that we've got coming on over here. So I just want to make sure that we are covering them all. What do we got here? So with that timeline slide with thumbnails, and this is where I want to go to, it makes it really easy to do the scrub part of the content that you'd like to see. So Scott's just making a comment that, when that by having, I suppose, the timelines and timestamps on your videos, it makes it really easy for people to be able to fast forward to the sections that they want to learn about. I noticed some things on your YouTube channel, so I want to cover these off and see what some of the things that are super important, like in terms of like structuring your YouTube, the channel itself. How important are, I mean, obviously your videos, descriptions. So let's go there and talk about like what makes a really good description, because I noticed that you had specific things that you had inside of the description area on your videos.
Yeah, so just going back to that whole thing of every little point of the marketing is going to help people click on your video. So the title, the thumbnail, and the description and the tags. The title, the thumbnail, the description being the ones that people see. So the description is really just an extension of your title. So what I usually do is the title's a little bit more clickbaity because you want them to get to click on the video. So it's short and punchy, but then the description is just an extension of that. So, a few sentences, exactly what the video is about. And then literally that's not why they're clicking. So it's not the most important part. They're clicking because of A, your title, B, your thumbnail. So I would say those are the two most important. And then, your description box, make sure you put all your affiliate links in there. If you're, talking about maybe the best cameras, for example, I've got the background here. You want people to click on your affiliate links to help with that passive income, or go to your website. So it's just having all that stuff in there as well. And so I think
call to action side of there too.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Beautiful. And tags. I noticed like on yours, you've got a bunch of tags on your videos. How do you come up with those, and how many is too many?
That's a good question. So yeah, tags would just be around the keyword research side of things. So if I'm thinking of a topic, I would try and just brainstorm all the different ways that I can search that topic in the bar. Like if I was a lazy YouTuber, just covered in Doritos, sitting on the couch, just, typing, what would I type? And so I'll just go through and I'll use my TubeBuddy plugin for that. So each keywords that I search, I'll make sure that it's being searched a lot. So I'll put those all in there. And to be honest, I'll steal a few as well. I'll be looking at different like for that ranking, there'll be 4 or 5 videos that are just doing really well usually, that are at the top. What are they doing well? You know, why are they at the top? And if it's from keywords, then okay, I might take a few of the same keywords of that, just for my tags. But it's also thinking like, what are they doing well in terms of thumbnails? What are they doing well in terms of a title? And how can I improve on that with my own content?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I also noticed that you had timestamps. So 2 things, timestamps and I suppose subtitles. You know, how important are those 2 things, and how do you get the timestamps on all of your videos?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, timestamps. Yeah, that's one I've used for longer content. So I've got a couple tutorials on my channel that are like 20+ minutes long because I need to make my videos shorter. And so what I'll do is try and make it easier for the viewer. So if they're just wanting to skip to certain parts of the video, you know, my viewer retention will go up if I can provide them with some timestamps. And the way you do it is you literally just find the timestamp of the video. So I think we're at 37:47 live here in the top corner. So I just type in 37:47, and then just put some text next to it, and that'll become a link. So they'll just be able to click on those numbers and they'll go straight to that timestamp in the video. They'll just shoot ahead to the bit they love. And 9 times out of 10, you'll get a comment saying, thank you so much for putting timestamps in. You saved me like 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's awesome. There's actually a couple of tools that that we've started using too that I'm happy to share today. So one is, you know, getting all of our videos transcribed, and that then also provides us with timestamps on that. And we use a program called Otter. And the other one is this new program that we've just started using called Searchy, and it enables people to like type in, like if I've got all of these videos on my website, they can type in YouTube video, for example, and it will actually search all of my website and then bring up the videos that specifically talk about whatever the topic was that they had typed in. So both of those things are really cool. And I don't know if we can use that across, you know, potentially putting that into our YouTube channel. I must look into that. You reminded me to do something. So the next thing we wanted to talk about is like positioning your YouTube channel for growth. And we talked about some examples. So let's talk about you know, what are some great examples that you've got? I know you've got a list of them.
Yeah, so you know, there's a lot of people doing really well on YouTube, and it gets to a point where it becomes just this thing you're doing, you know, from 9 p.m. to midnight to this thing you're actually starting to make a bit of money off, which is great. Past your first 1,000 subscribers, and I think it's 4,000 watch hours, you're able to start monetizing your content. And this is what people are doing, and they're doing it well. So a couple examples I've used and just has helped me in my life is Athlean X is one I've looked at, which is that's ATHLEANX, and that's his channel name, Athlean X. He is amazing at channel branding. He's just ridiculously good. He's been doing it for 10 years now. He's got over 10 million subscribers, and I swear he must be a multimillionaire by now, because he does really, really targeted niched content for his audience. So he's a personal trainer. He's trained athletes, you know, some famous athletes in America. And so all of his videos will be really targeted. So, you know, he might have one video on how to fix specifically lower back pain, you know, and the thumbnail will be like him just like targeted back pain, you know, and it has a really nice design across the thumbnails. All his thumbnails are really well designed, and all of his marketing is really top notch. So if you're looking for marketing, especially if you're a personal trainer, definitely recommend checking out his channel, all of his videos. Another thing that he does really well is at the hook of his video at the very start, he always says, "Hey guys, Jeff Cavalier here from athleanx.com." That's my American accent, but yeah, with the accent, without the accent, wherever you're from. But you know, he always says like, "Hey, it's Jeff, athleanx.com." So he always has his website within the first like 3 seconds of his video. And it's just like, you know, it's mind memory connection. Like just every video, you're like, oh yeah, Jeff, affiliatenext.com. And it's crazy the amount of repetition that he puts, because I experienced some like back pain and stuff. So I kept going back to his channel, and it was really helpful. And that led me, because he was giving me all this free value, to go to his website. And on his website, he sells online coaching courses for like personal training courses. So he's got the whole business model made just all through YouTube organic content. So that's definitely one example. Yeah.
Well, he's about to get a few more subscribers, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if he needs them, but he's doing very well. You know, the other one I'll mention is Parker Warbeck, who runs a online business called Full-Time Filmmaker. That's definitely in my niche, but that's just something that's worked really well. And I think, you know, like coaches and people who are selling high ticket courses could really learn a lot of his channel as well. He's basically a videographer that teaches other videographers how to shoot better videos. So it's more targeted towards the high end stuff, and like how to turn video making into a career. But it's that I guess that longer form content as well he makes that's really targeted and really high value. And he leads people. I think he's just hit 1 million subscribers, and he leads people through to a webinar. So he'll always say, you know, it's Parker Warbeck from fulltimefilmmaker.com, and he'll lead people to a webinar on his YouTube videos. His branding is amazing, and it goes straight to a free 1-hour webinar and then a high ticket course, which I've actually bought and was amazing. So, and you know, that's me just finding him on YouTube, and yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so AffiliateNext and Parker Warbeck. Awesome.
Yeah, definitely two really good examples. You know, I run my own channel, which is Video Shift, but I also so I think the link's in the comments as well. But I also work for another channel, a company which, you know, has about 23,000 subscribers. So I'm just starting mine out now, which has about 700 subscribers. But it just shows you kind of how far you can take it, and you can actually turn it into a well-oiled machine. I think start to outsource some of these, you know, more time-consuming parts of the process, like video editing, like, you know, even thumbnail design you can outsource, or the SEO. So once you start to get that passive income coming in through YouTube, you can actually start to outsource it and turn it into a well-oiled business machine itself.
Awesome. Hey guys, hang around, because in the next little while, we've got about another 10 minutes with Joel, and I want to talk about, you know, some of the top mistakes that we could, you know, that you could be making. So we want to avoid those. And then the last thing we want to talk about is like, what are some of the tools that you know, the top tools that people can get started on, you know, on a budget, or even some of the more high-end things, because I know you've got some pretty fancy looking camera sitting behind you that we might want to talk about too. So guys, just hang around, because we're going to talk about both of those. So let's move to that space now, Joel, and let's talk about some of like the top mistakes that you see people make.
Yeah, there's definitely plenty of mistakes you can make on YouTube, and it just results in getting no views basically. So, you know, 9 times out of 10 you don't know you're making the mistake. So I think that's a big first thing to point out, is that knowing the mistakes that other YouTubers before you have made is really helpful. And I guess some of these would be, you know, just trying, a massive one would be trying to put too many styles into your channel. So, you know, this is kind of going back to playlists, like try to avoid having a vlog playlist and you know, a live playlist and a tutorial playlist. Like try and, if you can, keep your whole channel consistent as a brand, and try and make the same content. So if it is those, you know, 6 to 10 minute fixing a problem videos within your space, try and stick to that if you can. And if you just really want to vlog and you want to, you know, show people about your life and your business and have more of a kind of hands-on approach, then definitely do that. You know, you'll get a following that way as well. But that'd be the big thing, is just pick a style before you start your channel. And even like I'm preaching it, but I've made this mistake so many times. Like my channel started off as more of a, it used to be called Joel Garmin Films, and I would post all my travel content on there. So now, you know, I just had fun. You know, I just used it to have fun, really, to start off with. And I made travel videos, and you know, I've switched around a lot in the different videos that I've posted, because I started off posting for fun. Just being a content creator and having fun. But that's probably not the best way to do it, because then people don't know what your channel's about. Like, oh, is he a travel filmmaker? Is he, you know, going to help me with my business? So I'd say definitely stay consistent and stick to your brand as well.
Yeah, okay, that's great advice in terms of that. And that, I suppose, comes right back to like planning, it's getting yourself organized right at the outset, planning what it is that you're going to be talking about, what do you want to be known for, and then moving forward with like the content that you're going to create, and just remaining consistent across, you know, everything that you do, so that people get to know who you are and what you're really about.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, it's not so much how much you post, it's what you post.
Yeah, definitely, and making sure that you're remaining relevant. So let's go to, you know, some tools, because I know, you know, for me it's been a real journey of like, what should I use? And you know, to get started, you don't need a lot, but as you get better and better and better at it, well, then you add to your you know, your repertoire of different fancy gadgets that we add to the mix. So what are some of the things that I suppose a beginner could use? And then, you know, as you get more advanced and more you know, au fait with everything, what other things should you add to the mix?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say, you know, number one thing would be investing in a camera to start off with. You know, you can get different types of cameras that are anywhere from more made for beginners and people who don't want to invest a lot of money into a camera, to the intermediate stuff, which is more like your DSLRs and your mirrorless cameras, which you need a bit of photography background and have to put a bit more time into, but you'll get some better results, to the professional end stuff, which is kind of like the camera behind me, which is like a $2,000 American dollar Panasonic camcorder. So, you know, you kind of want to buy, it's just the same as investing in your business with cameras. You kind of just want to buy where you're at for the moment, and then you can always sell an upgrade as you go. So number one would be the camera. Number two would be audio. So you know, getting cheap audio is really easy. You know, you can get little lapel mics that plug into iPhones, and then instantly the microphone is right up here, so it's really close to the signal, and you're getting good clear audio really easily. And then, you know, lighting would be the other one. So literally, lighting's kind of average for me in this room right now, but I'm getting some nice soft light coming from a big window. Just a big kind of diffuse window here, so it's actually doing quite well. And I've got some overhead fluoro lights, so it's just kind of, which are doing a little bit on my hair. So it's like paying attention to your surroundings and actually using what you have is a massive thing, and a massive time saver and money saver as well.
I know you've got a full tutorial on like how to set yourself up and what are some of the tools that you could use. That's on your YouTube channel. So we might even post that into the comments after the show, so that people can go and actually, if they're interested in, you know, what gear do I need to get myself sorted, they can go there and even work their way through it, and then ask you any questions back in the Success Secrets for Family, Business and Life group. Is there anything, I mean, I noticed, like, even with the screenshot, this is something that I'm noticing today. So I'm dead pretty much back bang in the middle of the screen, but you're off center. Is there a particular reason why you've done that?
Basically, you know, I kind of go with what looks good to me, just kind of as I set it up. But that's the great thing about webcams, is that they are, you know, direct on, and it looks like you're looking straight into the webcam, but you're not. You're looking into your computer, you know, to see us. So my one's a little bit off center in the, you know, you can kind of just see the top of my laptop here, and so I'm using that to see us. And then my camera is slightly off to the side over here. So if I look directly in the camera, it's over there. So I've just done that because I wanted to use more of a professional camera today. So I've just set it up with a tripod, plugged my camera in to a little capture device so I can talk to my computer. And then I've got my video. And then I've plugged a microphone. I've got a little microphone here. It's a little shotgun mic that's plugged just by cable just into the camera. Mm-hmm. So it just adds a little more of that aesthetic, I guess. And, you know, if it's slightly, I guess, better quality just from a visual camera point of view, it just adds to that, you know, production value and becoming that, you know, leader in your space as well.
Yeah. It's like framing the shot as an art. Absolutely. There is, you know, I've been on set with Joel where he and I have done all sorts of production stuff for clients. And I've seen him in action behind the camera and just, you know, really trying to get the frame of that shot spot on. The other thing is like lighting. And I know, like, even for me, like every time I come on to a show, you know, I'm thinking about the obviously the look, the visual, the audio, but also that lighting. So having either natural light, or if you do have to use some form of artificial lighting, like in terms of angles, where should people placement of lighting?
Yeah, just you know, it's always good to have a key light. We call it a key light, which is just the main light on your face. So if you just search up on the internet, 3-point lighting. So if you just type in 3-point lighting on the internet, it'll just show you want a main light on your face. Generally, you want another smaller light that'll just fill out more of the shadows and make you, you know, look less ominous. And it's always nice to have a little backlight, and that's your third point, which kind of highlights the hair, which is actually what the fluoro lights are doing from above. I thought I just mentioned, since I've got it here, there's a little light here. It's just a tiny little thing. It's made by Aperture. It's a little LED light, probably costs $100, something like that. This is a great little product. You know, it's really bright. You can boost it. You can change the color temperature. And this is a nice one I like to just put in my background as well, if I can. So, you know, I can put it in the background, light something else. And there's some cool little features you could light yourself with this. You know, it's pretty bright as well. So run off battery or run by cable. So you can get some cool little devices like this as well.
Beautiful. And you would recommend, I mean, I'm going to ask for the YouTube, you know, vloggers out there, would you recommend something like that, or a ring light? Which is
ring lights are really good. Yeah, ring lights are really good for that kind of soft, nice light you can get as well on the face. And you can get really affordable 3-point lighting setups of the ring lights as well. Those will just give you kind of like a more even soft. This I might use for something like a backlight, because it's just brighter and it'll be more harsh. So it'll actually like accentuate my like hairline and stuff, you know, if you want to get really into the details, I guess.
Awesome. So like anything that you want to, anything that our viewers should know about, like to round this out, like, is there anything that we have not covered that you want to make sure that you get across to them so that they can get off this show today and they can go and at least the action should be, people, go and set yourself up a YouTube channel and just get started, prepare, then get started.
Yeah, definitely. I think the last point I'll just make is like, just when you are creating content, like try to get out of your own headspace and just think, you know, just similar to giving a speech, like what do I want to, just knowledge do I want to impart on people that actually is going to give them the most value? And one just thing we didn't touch on is just whether you know, how you deliver your content to camera. So do you, you know, fully want to write out a script, and then you can get apps like teleprompter apps, which I actually work better in, because I stumble a lot and stutter. It actually just works better for me to totally type out a script. My videos are 100% scripted, and then I just say it to camera. And that way I'm totally confident in what I'm saying, and I'm able to just focus on my delivery and coming across how I want to come across on camera. I'm not worrying about what I have to say next. Or you might be a person that works better just winging it a little bit more, and you might just prefer bullet points, and you might just feel a bit more natural just adding lib. So just have a bit of practice and just get started and shoot something, I guess, would be my main advice.
Beautiful. And obviously go to Joel's channel, subscribe, and then just, keep an eye on what he's doing, and he'll share a whole lot more, tips, tools, and resources that will help you to grow your YouTube channel for success in business in 2020 and moving forward. And I've said this time and time again, but now is the time for us to get out and start speaking out about what it is that you're an expert on. That is how you're going to be heard. If you are a quiet little mouse in the corner, nobody is ever going to know that you exist. So you've got to be prepared to get out there and stand out. And using video is a fantastic way to do that. So I want to thank you so much for being on the show today, Joel. It's been fantastic to reconnect with you, have you here, and for you to be so generous in sharing all of that knowledge and and information for our guys to be able to get their YouTube channels up and running. So everybody, thank you so much for joining. As per normal, I will be back on the same channel next week. So you'll see these live inside of the Business Success Secrets for Business, Family and Life channel on Facebook. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. So if you go to Metadime Digital, you will find our YouTube channel right there. You could go and subscribe to that too. That would be fantastic. And you can see all the shows there. We do have some playlists set up, so you can either watch the Unlocked show with myself, the Coffee Break show, and or the Another Perspective show with Scott Stevens. So all three of the shows are there available for you guys to watch at your leisure. And as per normal, also go and give me some love inside of my podcast. Go and download the podcast and share it with your friends. If you're finding these are useful, then make sure you share them with your friends and let them know that they can also get some awesome information from the team here at Metadime Digital. And lastly, but not least, is just head on over to our website, because we have got a whole lot of stuff on there, including a waiting list for the brand new book, The She Myth, that is coming out in about 3 weeks' time. So I know I've been telling you guys about it. Vicky and I are super excited about it, but you need to get yourself on over there, get on the waiting list so that we can make sure we let you know when the book is available for you to download and purchase. So thanks very much. I'll see you guys back here again on Friday. Have a wonderful week and continue to live your life unlocked, because we know there is just no other way. See you guys.